Hello there, welcome to the channel, welcome back perhaps. And today we have a slightly different location. We're in the studio, having a lot of fun, both playing around with the pedal board and having a bit of a jam with our drummer friend. And also, we have a little bit of time left to look at a few things that have been in our mind about the pedal board. So we will try and shoot a few of these perhaps. Let's see though. The first thing is to do with the album that we're trying to release and how that's coming along. One of the things we noticed is that the sound of the reverb after the fuzz that we're using the NightSky for has kind of like a whooshing sound to it when the clarinet stops playing. It's audible and kind of annoying. We are finding ways to use it in the recording and we think it will be fine. However, it's not something that is a problem when there is delay before the reverb, because the space that the reverb provides isn't suddenly emptied, which is what we think that kind of like rushing sound is. So what we're going to do is we're going to play with one of the knobs on the NightSky, the one that they call the size pitch knob, which is, the way that I think of it is it's like the size of the room, but also something to do with like the quality of the walls. So at the moment we have it set to what I think is being like very bright and hard walls, and you'll get to hear that in a second. And I think that it's because of that that maybe we're getting this whoosh. So, also worth noting that this is on the, what do they call it? Dense algorithm in the NightSky. So we're going to show you how it is. We also have a recording device coming from the PA, so we'll be able to hear it in the room and how it sounds through the line. And let's dive in. Let's see how it goes. So, so that everything is fair, we will record whatever we play and then play it back through the different size, pitch settings of the NightSky. So, worth noting that at the moment it is, the size pitch knob is just before 9 o'clock. So let's dive in. Here we go though. First of all, just to give you a rough idea of where we are at. We're not going to record this one, but we want to warm up as well. Uh-oh. We got some buzz from the snare. There we go. It is gone now though. So. It's a very metallic sound, which we like, and it does, I think, complement the clarinet very nice, where we feel that the reed through the fuzz does have this very like metallic vibrating plate kind of sound, and also I think that the that metallic quality is something that fits very well with metal music. So moving on though, let's record a little something after that warm-up, and then we will put it through the different size pitch knob settings. now we can focus on the pedal, and we're moving the size pitch knob to just a little way up, about 10 o'clock now. And let's turn off the microphone here. Okay. Now we're up to noon. Okay, a very pleasant quality at the end there, especially. Similar to what one would get from a guitar, I feel. So I'm going to get myself a little bit more comfortable here. And we're now moving the size pitch knob up to like 2. Yeah, very pleasant there too. Maybe lost some of the definition that we had when it was at noon, but I am seeing how the fact that we had it where it was at the very beginning may have been a disadvantage. Maybe we chose that for the metallic quality when ideally we would have been using something a little bit more soft and delicate. But let's move on. Well, it goes all the way to 5, so let's put it at like just after 3 and do it a couple more times. contrabass, and I say how that like when you have the NightSky in what do they call it? Sparse mode. When it's this high up, you really start to hear each of the reflections in the in the reverb. Maybe we will have a quick look at the sparse mode and do a slightly more sparse experiment with that. Now we're going to turn it all the way down. This, if this was in the sparse mode rather than the dense mode, you would hear initially at least the individual reflections at first. So let's hear it though in the dense mode. This is all the way up, just to be clear. That's really beautiful. That's really beautiful. Like a big wobbly plate. So maybe this is something that we seriously need to reconsider is the size pitch knob, or perhaps more appropriately, the size pitch knob is something that we like to play with as different variations. Just for a bit of fun, let's go to the sparse mode, and I'm going to try and demonstrate the size pitch knob all the way up where you get the individual reflections. Let's see if we can actually hear that. There we go. Where it's almost like a what would you say? Like a reverb. Let's hear that. We'll go backwards this time. So one more time. This is sparse mode, size pitch knob all the way up. So we're going from all the way clockwise to back where our original position was for the dense mode. I mean, the sparse mode is just so beautiful. It's just so beautiful. But I do understand why we chose the dense mode. I mean, I think it's based on a plate reverb, if I'm remembering correctly. And I think that that's more what we want. This is definitely more of like a big ambient space kind of thing. Still very useful, don't get me wrong. We're going to go back to like, we'll go just above 12 here, seeing as we're not going to do it in as big increments, as small increments as we did before. Yeah, very nice, very nice. Much more delicate than the dents, I would say. Okay, let's take things back to where they were originally for the dents algorithm. And one last time. Yeah, very nice. I mean, I definitely prefer the larger size pitch settings, the more clockwise pitch settings for the sparse reverb, and I think for the dents that might end up being the case too, or at least not quite as far counterclockwise. Just as a little point of comparison, let's do the first thing that we did one more time. Yeah, I like the ringiness of it, the kind of like tinniness of it, the overtones of it, but I suspect that we would be better served with something a little bit more delicate, a little bit more flexible, a little bit less, what's the word that I'm looking for? Not delicate so much as touchy, brittle, something not quite as brittle as what we've been using. And hopefully that would also mean less of a whoosh when we stop playing, because the vibration of the plate won't be changing so suddenly too. It will be adapting a little bit less intensely, less extremely. So. Let's record a little something after that warm-up, and then we will put it through the different size pitch knob settings. And we're moving the size pitch knob to just a little way up, about 10 o'clock now. And let's turn off the microphone here. Now we're up to noon. And we're now moving the size pitch knob up to like 2. But let's move on well, it goes all the way to 5, so let's put it at like just after 3 and do it a couple more times. Now we're going to turn it all the way down. This, if this was in the sparse mode rather than the dense mode, you would hear initially at least the individual reflections at first. So let's hear it though in the dense mode. This is all the way up, just to be clear. So one more time, this is sparse mode, size pitch knob all the way up. So we're going from all the way clockwise to back where our original position was for the dense mode. We're going to go back to we'll go just above 12 here, seeing as we're not going to do it in as big increments, as small increments as we did before. Okay, let's take things back to where they were originally for the dense algorithm, and one last time. Just as a little point of comparison, let's do the first thing that we did one more time. We will see how that sounds through the monitor as well, though. We will intersperse things there, which you will have already heard, if that's how we did things. And for the meantime, thank you for sticking around. I hope this was interesting and enjoyable for you, at least as interesting and enjoyable as it is for us, because, you know, quite frankly, that's saying something. We love bringing this into the studio, and we will try to do one more before our time is up. Be well.